I am going to edit this pretty quickly. You can see I have a crack at the top of my laptop, so I'm going to try not to show that. But so let's see. I have to open a new one, so I'm going to edit this video live. You see what I'm saying? And almost died. This man almost died because it was raining. Okay, I know which video that is. All right, so I'm going to open a new project. I'm going to show you guys how I'm editing this one. So you can see, I'm going to go new project, okay. New. Stoicism. I'm going to come up with a better title than that, but so this one is titled "Why Stoicism is the Best Philosophy for Men." No, there are other philosophies that might work for you, however, and in this video, I actually tell a story of why Stoicism would have probably saved a lot of headache for this man. And I was in a situation where this guy almost got himself really hurt by me over some water, right? Which didn't make sense. But if you ever find yourself in one of these situations, you have to learn how to walk away. You gotta learn how to walk away. But I'm going to be editing, so I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing, right? So you can also, right there, so you guys can see what's happening. Okay, cool. So yeah, normally the camera is facing me, but I'm doing a quick edit, and also I don't have on a shirt, but that's me right there. That's my face. So in case you're wondering, but yeah, I'm actually editing this video. This video is probably going to come out in a couple of weeks, so you're going to see behind the scenes of what actually happens. So I think that's pretty cool, because not every time you get to see behind the scenes, so you can edit with me. All right, so real quick, let me show you this. I have a YouTube preset. You can see it over there, YouTube preset. And so this is for, I can show you what this is going to do. Hello, Matthew. How you doing? How you feeling? I'm going to show you what this is going to do. So it's going to make, I'm going to add it there. It's going to make it darker. Did you see that? Do you see that? I'll do it again. So that's before the edit. And that's after, right? So you can see it makes it dark. As I said, all of my YouTube videos have this edit. And then this edit right here applies to the audio. You can see it applies to the audio. Right, then go over audio, and then it makes it sound different, okay? So then that's applies to the audio, which is really good. Right, so then it applies both. And I'll play it for you. I'll play what the intro will sound like. This man almost died because it was raining. And it was for such a dumb reason that you never even think to imagine that someone would risk their life for something as childish as rain. And it's... Right, that's the intro, right? So, okay, cool. The audio isn't done. Let me just fix the audio a little bit. So this is how I fix my audio. I have 5 settings that I'm going to show you real quick. They're pretty basic, but they're highly effective. They're not basic at all, actually, but they're highly effective. And I've found I spent maybe like 3 hours, 4 hours one day working on what worked for this audio, which is why, not for this audio, for this microphone. And so then here are the settings. It's the de-esser, that's the first one, de-esser. The next one, you might want to write this down if you're taking notes, it's fine. Then I turn up the bass. Right, I turn that to about 8 decibels. So it boosts because my voice is deep, right? So then that's what happens next. Then I turn on the low pass. I crank that to about there. Boom. I'm gonna actually just play so you can actually hear it. This man almost died because it was raining. And it was for such a dumb reason that you never even think to imagine. You see how the audio gets cleaner? Risk their life for something as childish as rain. Okay, cool. And then I'm gonna turn on noise reduction. Now there's not a lot of noise in this. You can hear it's actually very clean. It's actually very clean in this, but I turn on the noise reduction just because sometimes there is like a bike passing or something, and I want to just make sure it's not too loud in the background. It's fine if you hear it, but I want to make sure it's not too loud. Okay. And then we go, hey, who's that? What country is that? From Venezuela? Shoo, we have somebody in here from Venezuela. What's up, man? Peace out from Venezuela. That's cool. Oh, who's that? Mayat? Shout out to you, Mayat. That's dope. All right, let's continue. So back to editing. So we got the audio sorted. So I don't do, if you've not been on the channel before, I don't do a lot of edits, but I do edit the color and I do cuts sometimes, because sometimes, sometimes I say stupid things. Sometimes my breath is a bit too much. Sometimes I do zoom in to emphasize some certain points, but most of my edits happen in the first 2 minutes. So you're gonna see me edit the first 2 minutes really heavily. This video is about 9 minutes. You're gonna see me. Oh, I just got a text message from somebody. All right, I'll deal with them in a second. All right, let me see. This man almost died because it was raining, and it was for such a dumb reason that you never even think to imagine that someone would have risked their life for something as childish as rain. All right, so let me see. How can I make that snap here, right? Their life. All right, you see, so I'm going to make that snappy. I'm going to cut right there, right there. So now you can see, I'm going to show you the final edit in a second, but we're going to cut out the slight pause, right? So you can see the slight pauses. All right. Their life for something childish. Okay, hold on. The last one was too much. Okay. Something as okay. Something as childish as rain. All right. It's their life for something as childish. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna cut that one. Oops. All right. Here's what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna emphasize that. You can see I'm zooming in. Oh, can you see it? Great. How long you been editing for? Right now, since I've been on this live. So I've been editing for 7 minutes. I just started. You can see this is the first 9 seconds. Usually my edits take about half an hour, so it's not going to be a long edit. And I have 4 other videos to edit tonight before I go to sleep. What's up, Jason? Something to do. I thought I'd edit with you guys. Normally I'm watching Phineas and Ferb while I'm editing, so this is a bit more exciting. Nah, I meant when you started, like generally. I started editing for the first time. That would have been high school. I guess I'm going to give away my age, but that would have been, what, 2016, 2015? Yeah? Something as childish as rain. And in this video, I'm going to explain. All right, you can see the breath right there. I'm going to cut out that breath. You see what I'm saying? As I said, the breath later on in the video is fine. But when you're at the start, every second counts. I want to make it snappy. That's why I cut out the rain at the start. The breath at the start. Okay, cool. All right, so then we make that. I'm going to zoom in on that too. Boom. Make that. Now I want to push that to the left a little bit. Okay, so I do the same thing there. Oh, damn. Okay, so we go here, down. All right, so, and then we're gonna add a keyframe to this one. Oops. Gonna add keyframes here. You can see, so I'm gonna show you what it's gonna look like at the end. Oh, this should have been here. Okay, hold on. This is here. This is what it needs to look like at the end. All right. So this is how we're going to start. All right. Wait for the final cut. Wait for the final cut. All right. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Yo, does anybody remember SpongeBob, bro? Or is it just me? Because normally I'm watching Phineas and Ferb. So this is, you do editing professionally? I'm quite curious because I want to start the gig myself. Any advice on which skills to focus on? I'm going to answer your question right after I play this edit. I see your question. I don't want to ignore you. I'm not ignoring you.
Man almost died because it was raining. And it was for such a dumb reason that you never even think to imagine that someone would risk their life for something as childish as rain. And in this video, I'm going to explain.
All right, you guys saw that? Okay, cool. That took me fucking 10 minutes. This is why I don't edit my videos a lot. Now, you could add a bunch of things, you know, like graphics and stuff, but I don't do that because, one, I want to commit to doing videos as much as possible, and I don't want it to take too much time, right? So I want, you know, I don't make money from YouTube as much as I make money from real estate. So for me to spend 3 hours editing this video doesn't make sense. But I do want to get the information out because there are people who do watch the videos. So I still want to make sure I'm getting the videos out. And I don't want to just put out unedited videos. So I'm actually going to edit it, make sure it sounds good, make sure, you know, it's actually a little bit more entertaining. But you could add motion graphics and all that stuff and VR and green screen. That takes hours. You know, Mr. Beast can do that. Maybe one day I'll start hiring a team. You can get people to edit for $100 or less. But right now, this takes a long time. So as long as I'm doing this myself, I'm not going to do this a lot. Bunch of baby oil and plastic bags talking about you going to a party. That's hilarious. Put a thumbs up in real life if that's not pre-recorded. There you go. You edit professionally. You want to start the gig. I advise myself. I'm right here. I mean, that's me. That's my face. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can see. You see that necklace right there? That, what do you call it? Bracelet? That's my bracelet, bro. So it's very much me. I just came back from football, so I'm very tired. I can base my videos on. The easiest way to base your videos, the easiest way that you can, and this is actually very true. I've studied YouTube for a very long time on how to grow channels. You can see I've grown from 500 last year and now I'm at over 4,000. By the way, subscribe. And one of the things that you realize is that you just need to give people what they're already searching for, right? Go into Google Trends, just Google Trends. And then once you go into Google Trends, look at what people are searching for, look at what you can do, then go onto YouTube, look for those topics, use the same type of thumbnail and title, and then just do that. You don't need to recreate the reel, just do those topics. So then stoicism and men's mental health, people are already searching for that right now. That's why I'm doing a video about it. Just do that. You don't need to guess. Just go onto Google Trends and make videos on what other people are searching for, okay? You editing professional, I want to start to give myself any advice on which skills to focus on. There are so many free resources online for you to go ahead and search Premiere Pro and After Effects. Just learn Premiere Pro. All right, as I said, the first 2 minutes is where most of my edits is. So,
and it was for such a dumb reason that you never even think to imagine that someone would risk their life for something as childish as rain. And in this video, I'm going to explain, by this story, why stoicism is such an important...
You see how that breath takes away the momentum? That's why I have to cut them out. At least in the first 2 minutes. After that, not that important, but...
Story.
They take away so much momentum. That's why I have to cut them.
This story, why stoicism is such an important part of being a man. Because... part of being a man.
All right, boom. So then cut here, zoom in so that the zoom doesn't look like a cut. So the cut, sorry, doesn't look like a zoom. Wait, what am I saying? So the cut does not look like a cut. It looks like an edit instead.
Story, why stoicism is such an important part of being a man. Because this man almost lost his life for something that is trivial as rain. And by the end of this, you're going to understand. But
So most of this in the first
It's
2 minutes is
raining.
just.
And by the end of this, you're gonna understand. But here's the story. Here's what happened. And this is a true story, by the
Most of this is just cutting out breath in the first 2 minutes, like this.
way. So I'm there. Story, by the way.
All right, boom. So you can see, and the faster you can do these things, the better you get, the faster you can do this,
So I'm
right?
there. I'm at the hotel. The rain is falling, and so I decided to get a cab to go home. But before I go home, I decided I'm not going to go out to eat as I normally do. I'm going to go to the supermarket, get some stuff, and make some oats at home.
This is a true story, by the way. This actually happened. I almost had to kick somebody's ass because they were upset at me. Anyway, you can watch the story, but this is the story.
By myself. So I said, okay, let me call a taxi. I get a taxi. I get into the car. We are going to the supermarket. Now, I go into the supermarket and I come back out to look for the guy. I have my food, no problem. Here is where things start.
Exactly, right here. Okay, hold on.
And so, here is where things start.
All right, see, right there, that's another edit. So then I cut there, break it up, and then I zoom in a little to give it more intrigue. You see what I'm saying? So then if I zoom in a little bit, then it pulls you into the story.
It's raining, remember. And so, I'm a little wet from the rain. I get back to the car. I open the door. I'm getting ready. I say, okay, this is the first stop. Now we're going home. He stops me.
All right, boom. So then see, I stop right there. I hope you're following the story. If you're not, I apologize, but I'm also editing, like for real. I'm not just on live for no reason. Okay.
No problem. Here is where things start. Now it was raining, remember. And so I'm a little wet from the rain. I get back to the car. I open the door. I'm getting ready. I say, okay, this is the first stop. Now we're going home. He stops me. My water bottle is on the seat. He stops me. He says, I can't take you anywhere. Look at what happened to the seat. It's all wet. I can't take you. You got to go somewhere else. I said, my man, wait a minute, what do you mean? Well, the ride isn't done. I need to go home. It's raining. Right?
Okay, so you see right there? You saw a pause? So I'm gonna actually zoom in so that you can actually catch my reaction, even though it's a pause.
I'm done. I need to go home. My man, wait a minute, what do you mean? Well, the ride isn't done.
All right there.
I need to go home.
All right. You see that? That's like a reaction shot. That's pretty much what that is. Oh, by the way, in case you didn't know, I studied filmmaking and acting in college for 2 semesters. So that's why I know these terms. I'm not just pulling them out of my socks. A reaction shot in a movie is like when someone is talking and then it pans just to them, right? So then this is a reaction shot.
The ride isn't done.
You see that? Reaction, right? It's not really me saying anything, it's just a reaction.
Well, the ride isn't done. I need to go home. It's raining. Right? And it's raining as I'm talking because I'm outside of the car. He says, no, you can't come in here. You pay me what you owe me. Right now, the meter is right here. You pay me, and you can't come in here. I can't take you. I said, my man, it's water. Now he starts shouting, no, you can't take it anywhere. Look at what you do to my seat. Look how, and he's going off. I was like, my man, hold on. First of all, stop. Don't talk to me as if I'm a child. Stop shouting at me.
This is a true story, by the way. So in case you're being entertained, this is a true story. And this is going to come out on YouTube. All right, let's go.
You're a grown man, I'm a grown man. Stop shouting. He keeps going. Yeah. He said, all right, listen, man. I've warned you, I've asked you already. And I've said to you, let me take out my AirPods because now I need to hear me. Stop shouting at me as if talking to me as if I'm a child. Now he starts to lower his tone because he looks at me and he realizes that I'm serious. Do not shout at me because I am not a child. And so then he stopped shouting. And then I said to him, you are a grown man arguing with me, another grown man, about water on a seat. It is raining. There is water on the seat. It will dry. It's not wine. It's not a stain. It's water. It's raining, it's water. It's going to dry. Now, right now, I need to get home. The ride isn't done. If you drop me home, it's already wet, it's not going to dry. I'm going to be the one sitting on the wet seat. It's already wet. Drop me home. He says, no, I can't. You have to pay me what you owe me. I said, I can't pay you because the ride isn't done. I paid you for the wait. Now you're going to charge me for the wait. The wait, if I have to call another taxi, is going to cost me more. So now, finish the ride and then I'll pay you for the entire thing. He said, no, we're not doing that. You can't get in the car. It's already wet. It's dry, whatever. Okay? I said, all right, cool. No problem. Let me take my stuff out. Now he gets out the car. Now remember, I'm not a small dude. And I don't have a problem fighting. So now he gets out the car, comes around the driver's seat. Comes around. Now he's standing. I said, oh, you want to fight? Let me put down my groceries. So I take my bottle out, I put down my groceries, I take out my AirPods. I said, all right, come, let's go. He looks at me, pauses, recognizes that he can't beat me. I'm bigger than him. I'm taller than him. I'm younger than him. Then he just shouting from like 6 feet in front of me. I'm ready. He goes back in his car. He shuts the door. And then he begins to drive his car away. He backs out of the driving spot, the parking spot, and he drives away and he goes out the supermarket. Now, as he's driving, he can't help but shout words to me in a language I don't understand. And I say, I don't speak that language, I don't know what you're saying, as he drives off. This man drives out of the supermarket, comes back around to cuss me in a language that I understand, which is English. And then he shouts, you understand now, and then drives off again. Just imagine a grown man arguing with me about water.
All right, cool. Another reaction shot. Okay, cool. So that was the entire story. I hope you liked the story. I mean, it was very true. It's a true story. But I'm going to actually caption this reaction shot so you can see another example of what that looks like. Okay. Okay, cool.
About water. Now here's...
Okay, you saw that? You saw that? My eyes dipped. Okay, so I'm going to take that out. Okay, because I don't want that in there. All right, here we go.
About water. Now here's the moral of this.
I'm going to put in an effect. Crickets, is it there? Let me see. Let me see. Where would I put that? Where would that be? Ta-da! Oh. Let me see. Crickets. All right. I don't know where that is. The only thing I can think about is that it would be in my... All right, it's fine. It's the only two places I can think about. Unless it would be here. Oh! Wow, I'm good. Ha 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 ha. Found it. Okay, this is what I'm looking for.
About water.
Ha 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 ha. Okay, cool. That's what I'm looking for.
About water. Now here's the moral of this.
Okay, cool. So then now that I have that sound, I'm gonna actually just copy that sound and put that earlier, because you remember the first reaction shot. I'm gonna put that in there as well. All right, let's go find that. I think he was here. Okay, good.
Water.
No, that's not the same one. Okay. Okay, let me see. You remember where the first reaction shot was, guys? Was it here?
Something as childish as rain. And in this video, I'm going to explain, by this story, why stoicism is such an important part of being a man. Because this man almost lost his life for something. What the ride isn't done. I need to go home. It's raining.
All right, here we go.
Just imagine a grown man arguing with me about water. Now here's the moral of the story. That man, if he had gotten out his car and put a finger on me, he would have gotten his ass beat for some water. For some water on a car seat because it was raining. Just imagine that there are men who lose their lives because of this. Imagine if he had attacked me and I had punched him so hard he had dropped down dead. He was willing to risk his life, get his face messed up badly because of some water on a car seat. You see how ridiculous that sounds? But in his mind, it meant everything to him. And the cost of the taxi ride, by the way, was like maybe $250. $250, right? $2.50.
Oh my God. I can't speak fucking English. let me put that up.
In his mind, it meant everything to him.
Should I keep that in there?
The cost of the taxi ride, by the way, was like maybe $250. Right? $2.50. Ridiculous. He was about to risk everything for $2.50. $250. Was like maybe $250. $250. By the way, was like maybe
Yeah. I'm gonna keep that in there. Hold on. I'm gonna add the same reaction one more time for a third time. Third time's the charm.
$250. $250. Right? $2.50.
That makes me laugh. I'm gonna keep it in there. I think I should keep that in there. That makes me look more natural, doesn't it? Because nobody's perfect. And don't we all mess up sometimes? Don't we? Unless you want me to be perfect on YouTube. I don't want to be perfect on YouTube, and anybody who wants me to be perfect, you're in the wrong place, my man. Whoa. Okay.
Was like maybe $250. $250, right? $2.50. Ridiculous. He was about to risk everything.
Okay, there you go.
$2.50. Ridiculous. He was about to risk everything for $2.50 and some water on a car seat.
Okay, let me play that one more time.
Yeah. And the cost of the taxi ride, by the way, was like maybe $250. $250, right? $2.50. Ridiculous. He was about to risk everything for $2.50
That made me laugh.
and some water on a car seat. Ridiculous. Now, I want you to understand that all of that emotion could have been spared if this man had one thing, which is called stoicism. Stoicism. It's really that simple. Because stoicism really means that if you don't understand that there are bigger problems in the world to be stressed about, if you are getting upset by water on a car seat and $2.50, you will never be rich.
Amen.
You need to recognize that.
Amen.
If
Preach,
you are
brother.
upset that
Preach.
you don't have enough salt.
Preach, brother.
Order at a restaurant.
Preach, brother.
You will never be rich.
Preach, brother.
If someone gives you, not enough milk or ice in your Pepsi, or for some reason, when you should have had no ice at McDonald's or whatever.
Hallelujah.
There are bigger problems in the world. You are wasting valuable life energy
Preach, brother.
over things that don't matter.
Amen. Jesus.
Stoicism is you being calm enough to recognize when you should expel your energy.
This guy is spitting. Who is this?
And so then so many men are getting so emotional. They're getting into fights almost because someone stepped on your shoes. Your shoes, my man, you are getting up. You are in the club where people are sweaty, they're drunk, and you're going to get all upset over someone stepping on your shoes. Where that is precisely the environment where that is most likely to happen. So you get upset because someone bumps you. Where that is precisely the environment where that is going to happen. There are so many bigger things to expel your energy. There are people dying. There are people at war. There are people being murdered, attacked, abused. Children helplessly, hungry. Children are trying to get an education and can't. Trying to get clean water but can't.
Which is what we do on this channel, by the way. In case you didn't know that, we provide scholarships to kids in Jamaica. In case you didn't know that, that's why we started this channel. So subscribe if you haven't already. Cool.
And you are going to be upset because someone stepped on your shoes. The nerve that you have the audacity to think that your problems are that big that they require any sort of emotional reaction. Ridiculous. And when I say these things, it comes across as harsh. But that is the reality. The biggest problems in the world require not 5 minutes of a problem or 5 minutes of thinking. They require so much time, weeks to solve, hours of dedicated thought processing. And
You see this right here? I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like a blank spot.
Sorry about that, my fault. And walking away. No, it's okay. And walking away. The water will dry. And walking away. Think about that. That does not make sense. And so then when it comes to stoicism,
All right, let me
the
see.
one thing that the lesson that you should take away from this video, and we're going to end it here because it's very important, but I don't want you to miss the lesson because this is the most important part.
Bring it home, brother.
Stoicism will allow you to focus your energy for when it matters and to be unbothered by problems that do not. Stoicism is you reserving your energy for when it matters, for you to be unbothered in a world that is so wavy and trying to get you to react all the time, because that's what the news does. Stoicism allows you to save and conserve your life force for when you need to actually direct it enthusiastically towards one direction. And that's when you unleash all of your life's purpose. But don't waste it on small things. You're bigger than that. You're better than that. So young man, take this lesson and I hope it makes sense. If you want to keep watching, I got this lesson for you right here. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Oof. Yes, my brother. And we cut right there. And we export. You see, it's not that much editing to do. You see what I'm saying? Because what it comes down to is my goal is to just publish. You understand what I'm saying? My biggest goal is to publish. Why stoicism? This has been my goal for the last year, to hit publish. Views are great, but as long as I hit publish every week, I have won that week. And me going live today helps me to win today. So this video, 8 minutes, 59 seconds, I have accomplished my goal for that week. And this will come out a couple weeks from now, because tomorrow I'm releasing a video about the US economy. You're going to want to watch that one. If you haven't subscribed already, thank you for joining us. I hope you learned something from this. You know, you can see the behind the scenes. This is going to take half an hour, so I'm going to go shower and stuff. Peace out, people. Always, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. OGs, thank you for being here. And I'll see you another day. Peace out.